It is indeed DPI. That's a huge call against Loras. That'll give Wartburg first down and goal at the 2-yard line.
And for how effective this offense has been this year, the last thing you can do is give them free yards and free first downs.
Sasha lines up in the pistol. Working the hard count is Sasha trying to get a jump. Takes the snap. Hands it off to Binion. He is through. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, Wartburg.
Can we just appreciate that stiff arm? Logan Shepard coming up from the safety position, trying to make the tackle. Dylan Binion puts that arm out and says, "No, thank you, sir," and trots into the end zone.
Makes it look easy. Reservations for 6. Brayden Grant out to take the extra point.
The Knights looking exactly like we thought they would coming into today. And that strong run game has continued from last week. Over 300 rushing yards against the Dutch on the road last week. And now just running all over this Loras defense to begin this game.
Grant's kick is good. Successful first drive for Wartburg. Starts off with a 43-yard run for Dylan Binion to set up the Knights for success. 59 yards on the ground in one drive for Dylan Binion. How about that?
It's definitely a good start to this homecoming game for Wartburg.
Sasha only threw one pass that time.
And it went incomplete, but still got the Knights an extra 15 yards thanks to that DPI call.
And it doesn't count against his stats either because that was nullified by a penalty. But he only really needed to throw one pass because of the success of Dylan Binion. He came out and just instantly shifted the momentum to all Wartburg to start things off here.
The Dewhawks just had no answer for him. It looked like they were just beaten badly after that first play. They just didn't have any fight in them on that drive. And Wartburg took, 6 plays to punch it in on their first drive?
6 plays.
And they went close to 70 yards.
It's picked up by Mikey Castoro of the Dewhawks. Gets a few on the return, and that'll bring him down to about the 22-yard line. And that is where the Dewhawks will start their first drive of this one.
And if you're the Dewhawks, you have to come out and at least put a field goal up on the board. With Wartburg having the momentum they do, you need something to answer. Even if you just get 3 points, at least you come away with a successful drive against this Knights defense.
Loras led by quarterback Bob Kelly. He takes the snap, hands it off to his back. He gets a few, carries some guys, and he gets eventually brought down. That was Ike Cloward, the ball carrier. He's been a big force on this Loras team in the backfield. 537 yards through 5 games this season, and 12 touchdowns for him.
He's another one of those backs that we mentioned earlier, like Connor Strader and Brandon Domeyer. As you can see, he's just a bowling ball back there, and he's really tough to bring down. A strong back who's going to carry people for some extra yards at multiple times during today's game.
Yeah, very much a bruiser-type back for Loras, and he's been successful in that approach. It's 3rd down and 2 for the Dewhawks. Kelly lines up. Takes the snap, hands it to Cloward. He gets through, gets the first down and a little bit more. He'll get down to about the 40-yard line.
Had a nice little hurdle. It looked like it was Tony Anstetter coming up trying to take out his knees to get the tackle, but Cloward just able to go right over the top of him and pick up the first down for Loras.
Both teams running in a spread, no-huddle offense. Takes the snap, Kelly, play action, back the pass, fires deep downfield. And that's going to be way out of reach. Number 83, Josh Schultz, was the intended receiver. Schulte, rather. And there's another name. Peyton Imhoff was the defender. We mentioned him a little bit in pregame, how much he's developed into really a star cornerback.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting matchup all day today. Schulte has been the number one receiver for Loras all season, but we've seen what Imhoff can do shutting down the other team's top target. So this running game has been pretty effective for them so far. They're going to have to add a passing attack to balance it out against this Knights defense, as Cloward's going to go off the field for the first time today and get a nice break.
Cody Miggle is now the running back behind Kelly. He'll get a carry here. Finds a hole. There's a flag on the play. Likely when you have a hole that big, it's offensive holding. We'll see what the call is. But I expect this one to go back.
The offense is already starting to move backwards, so I believe you're correct in a holding call.
Holding on the offense, number 45. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
On number 35, Ty Pauline.
I wonder if they might have gotten the number wrong on that play, as Pauline is listed as a defensive back.
Yeah, interesting. Somebody on the offensive lineman.
It could have been number 45, David Adams, who's their backup halfback. And he's out there on the field currently.
Kelly fires. That's caught. Brought down after a gain of a few. And that was number 83 again, Josh Schulte. And it's now fourth down.
It was senior Blake Beckman making the tackle, saving the first down. The Knights got a great jump off the line and were able to recover after it looked like they were going to have some blockers set up in front of Schulte and possibly pick up a first down on the screen.
Mason Quigley set to punt it away. Nearly blocked. Brockway fair catches it, and he'll get down at about the 9-yard line. Great punt by Quigley to pin the Knights back inside their own 10. Knights lead at 7-0 early on this homecoming Saturday.
And if they can put another touchdown drive together right here, we've been talking about how effective their offense is in the first half. The reason they don't score a lot of points in the second half is usually they're pretty much just running down the clock because they're up so big. Last week, they were absolutely dominant in the first half. I believe it was 28-14 at halftime against Central. And Wartburg's going to look to do the same here against the Dewhawks back at home.
Start off their second drive with a 1-yard run by Dylan Binion. Dennis Harrington just checked in. Speedy receiver, sometimes runs those end-around plays whenever the Knights call for it. He lines up in the slot. Off to the right also is Griffin Brennick, it appears.
Interesting to see Riley Brockway not on the field right now for the Knights.
Seisha takes the snap, hands it off to Binion, and he gets brought down for a loss. In the backfield, he'll get down to about the 6.
Loras bringing a little bit more heat on this drive, trying to take the run away from Wartburg. And now with a third and very long staring at him in the face, they're probably going to have to go to the air on this one as we do see Brockway come back in. And they've got 4 receivers out there, 3 of which are incredibly fast and difficult to cover.
Seisha takes the snap. Play action. Plenty of time. Fires to Harrington. That's broken up, but there's a flag on the play. Yet another defensive pass interference likely to come. This time on the hands of number 3, Logan Shepard.
And that's a tough play for Loras to come out with a penalty. They had great pressure on Seisha in the backfield, bringing the blitz straight up the middle. And it looked like he was in good coverage right up until that ball got there before he made contact.
On the defense, number 3.
That's kind of a bang-bang play that just kind of went against Loras. Close play like that, Wartburg's just happy to come out on top.
Now, Loras had a great stop, but that penalty really changes things. Duhawks were looking to shift the momentum a little bit, but for now it stays on Wartburg's side. Seychelles lines up. Play action. Fires deep. Brennick has a man beat. He catches it. What a play. Griffin Brennick lays out, and he's down in the Duhawk territory inside the 40-yard line.
Riley Brockway may have been the Knights' #1 threat all season long, but Griffin Brennick just one of the best deep threats in the entire conference, and he's a matchup nightmare with that 6'4" frame and that speed. What a play for the Knights, and they're right back in gear after it looked like they were going to go 3 and out.
Station takes the snap, hands it to Binion. Binion jukes, breaks the tackle. Binion is going. He could go all the way. He does. Touchdown, Dylan Binion. #2 for him on the day. What a run to put the Knights up. 2 touchdowns, 13-0 now the score.
Well, this has been a pretty good start for Dylan Binion.
Yeah, that's a word. That's a way to say it.
Took over the starting job for Connor Schrader a couple weeks ago, and he has not looked back. After the Knights put up 300 yards last week against Central, including 143 for the sophomore, he's well on his way to reproducing that today.
Extra point is good from Drayton Grant.